Now, we are going to take up the thermal stress and thermal strain. So, a material expands when the temperature rises and contracts when temperature falls. The change in length due to change in temperature directly proportional to the length of the member and also to the change in temperature. So that is how it will going to take as the material gets heated up, so it expands, so naturally it has to the length will going to increase. And when it is cooled or when the temperature falls, so naturally it contracts and thereby you will going to get the contraction or reduces in length. So that is delta is nothing but it is proportional to the temperature and also to the length. So delta is the change in length and T is the change in temperature and length is the original, L is the original length. So delta is equal to alpha into T into L, where alpha is the coefficient of thermal expansion and is defined as the change in unit length of material due to the change in temperature. So what are the thermal stresses? Thermal stresses are the stresses induced in a body due to change in temperature. When a member is free to expand or contract due to rise in temperature or fall of temperature, no stresses will be induced in the member, which is as shown in the figure. So that means when you have a member which is fixed at the one end and the length of the member is L before heating. So as we heat it, after heating, the length of this member will going to expand by delta, which is equal to alpha into T into L. If the ends of the body are fixed or to rigid supports as shown in figure below, so that its expansion is completely prevented, then stresses are induced in the body or the member. The stresses induced in the member due to change in temperature is called thermal stress. And the strain due to this is called the thermal strain. Here, the induced stresses and the corresponding strains are compressive. So that means you have a member wherein this having the length before heating. So when it is heated, so the material will try to expand till where? Till to have the subtraction. When this acceleration takes place, so it will going to prevent the expansion even after heating. So that is the reason why the stresses will going to be developed. Once the stresses will going to be developed, naturally these stresses are called the thermal stress. And the strain produced, the resultant of this stress will going to be the strain, and since the strain is nothing but the thermal strain, and delta is the gap. So what is the thermal strain? Epsilon T will be equal to extension prevented by original length. What is extension prevented? Which is delta by L, which is equal to alpha into T into L by L, which is alpha into T is epsilon T. So where T is the change in temperature and alpha is the coefficient of thermal expansion. So what is the thermal stress? Sigma T will be equal to thermal strain into E, because according to the Young's modulus, stress by strain will be equal to E. So what is thermal strain? Thermal strain is nothing but alpha into T into E, where E is the Young's modulus of the material. So therefore, thermal stress and thermal strain are also called as temperature stress and temperature strain respectively. If the free expansion is prevented partially as shown in the above figure, or the supports yield at the amount equal to delta 1. So what is the axial expansion? Axial expansion is expansion due to rise in temperature minus delta 1. So alpha into T into L minus delta 1. So thermal strain will be equal to actual expansion by the original expansion or the original length. Actual expansion is alpha into T into L minus delta 1 by L. So that will be equal to the thermal stress, which will be equal to thermal strain into E. So alpha into T into L minus delta 1 by L into E. So therefore, this thermal stresses in the composite bar or the compound bar. So here, this is a compound bar wherein one end is fixed, the other end having the steel bar and the copper bar plus one above the other, where the length of both steel and copper is L. So when the expansion is prevented, so you're going to get the steel and the copper. So the steel has got the free expansion till it's to this, and the copper has got the expansion, more expansion. Then once you have the expansion is being prevented, so this is how it will going to be looks like. So we're going to explain that here. So consider a composite bar consisting of two members, which is steel and copper. Let the composite bar is heated through some temperature. If the temperature are free to expand, then the no stresses will going to be developed or induced in the bar. But the two members are rigidly fixed, and hence the composite bar as whole will expand by the same amount. As alpha C is more than the alpha S, the copper will expand more than the steel bar. Since both the members are not free to expand, the expansion of the composite bar on the whole will be less than that of the copper, but more than the steel. Therefore, the stress induced in the copper bar will be in compressive and in the steel bar will be in tensile. Hence, the forces acting on the copper will be compressive and the steel will be tensile. That is, compressive force PC is acting on the copper bar or shorten the amount by delta C, and tensile force PS is acting on the steel bar to lengthen the amount by delta S. So that is what we have shown here, which is when the steel having the free to expand, when the expansion is being prevented, so you're going to have the composite bar. So since what it says alpha S coefficient of thermal expansion of copper is more than that of the steel, so copper will going to expand more than the steel bar. So the steel bar will going to have a free expansion up to this, and there will not be the copper bar will going to expand more than the steel bar. So here, so this is the expansion which has been prevented, the final position. The steel bar will be under tensile while the copper bar will be under compression. So that is the reason why you have PC here. And whereas delta S is the one wherein it has need to be expanded for, so that it is going to develop at the final position. So this is the free expansion of steel, which is alpha S into T into L, and that this is the delta S, and the free expansion of copper is alpha C into T into L, and since the expansion is prevented, so by amount of delta C, which is the compressive in nature. So for equilibrium, what is the condition? The equilibrium is PS will be equal to P. PC is equal to P. So what is PS? PS is nothing but the free expansion of steel. Alpha S into T into L plus delta S will be equal to alpha C into L, alpha C into T into L minus delta C. So you transfer the delta S and delta C on one side and alpha T L in the other side. So delta S plus delta C will be equal to alpha C into T into L minus alpha S into T into L. Take out the common factor as T into L, that is into alpha C minus alpha S. So what is delta S? P into L by AS into ES plus P into L by AC into EC, which will be equal to alpha C into T into L minus alpha S into T into L. So you take out P into L as a common factor by 1 by AS into ES plus 1 by AC into EC will be equal to alpha C minus alpha S into T into L. So LL will get cancelled. So therefore, P into AS into E. So here what happens? You will going to take this LL will get cancelled, and you take the LCM and then do the simplification. So to do that, P into AS into ES plus AC into EC by AC into ES plus AS into ES will be equal to alpha C minus alpha S into T. Therefore, the value of P will be equal to then you just the cross multiplying AC into EC into AS into ES into alpha C minus alpha S into T divided by AS into ES plus AC into EC. So what is the tensile stress on the steel bar? The tensile stress in the steel bar is sigma S will be equal to PS by AS, that will be equal to, so PS is nothing but ES into AC into EC by AC into EC plus AS into ES into alpha C minus alpha S into T. So similarly, compressive stress in the copper bar, which is equal to sigma C, which is equal to PC by AC. So once you substitute the value of PC here, so AC gets cancelled. So PS AS into ES into EC into alpha C minus alpha S into T. So divided by AC into EC plus AS into ES. So this is how we will be able to get the tensile stress and the compressive stress in both in the steel bar and also in the copper bar. Thank you.